RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
Anybody remember this at all? Anybody remember this? This was the debate between Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum, who was way ahead and was poised to be our first African-American governor. And then they met for a debate, and it was obvious Gillum won. Gillum actually pointed out that Ron DeSantis had Nazis in the state helping him, that he was a Christian white nationalist, that he was a white supremacist.
Mr. DeSantis has spoken. First of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in the state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, Nigger. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Oh, yeah. that should be the measuring stick, okay? That should be the marker. If the racists consider you a racist, you probably are unaware, but you're a racist. And it doesn't matter if you're an unaware racist, Jason Aldean. It doesn't matter. What matters is if the racists think you're racist, you should take your clues from them. You don't have to, do any self-examination on that score, okay? But Andrew Gillum, of course, when Ron DeSantis won because Donald Trump stepped in after DeSantis went and begged him, please help me, please, I'm losing to this guy. They're going to have the first African-American governor in the state of Florida. And Trump endorsed him, and he freaking won. And what did he do? He charged Andrew Gillum with, there was some contretemps over tickets, I swear to God, tickets to Hamilton, the play. And DeSantis was accusing Gillum of taking bribes. I swear, this is what they always do to their opponents. They accuse you of taking bribes, being on the take. And in this case, the only thing that they thought that they could accuse him of taking, because he'd never taken, Gillum never took anything, was tickets to the play Hamilton, which at that time was a hard-to-get ticket. And 5 years later, just so you know, 5 years later, Andrew Gillum was found not guilty. 5 years later. So if that was 2018, that means this year. Yeah, it was in May. It's now July. That's how long it took for Andrew Gillum to defend himself in court. They threw the book at him. They put 19 different charges in front of a jury. And Andrew Gillum was found not guilty, and that's it. It's done. But this is kind of what I'm saying. If you look at what's going on with the court being the enemy now, the court being the enemy in Israel because, Netanyahu is under indictment. And it's not so much about, what the court, they don't have a constitution in Israel. So it makes it a little easier to dismember the court and its authority over you and your government, right? It makes it just slightly easier to do. But the people in Israel are out in the street in droves. I mean, the protests there are unbelievably humongous. And of course, the state is out there with their water cannons, just, spraying people and trying to get them, to stop screaming as they take away their power, as they take away the power of the people and give it to corrupt politicians. See, that is what's going on. And it will happen here, too. And it's not just the scorched desert portion of becoming like Israel that should scare you, because we are becoming a scorched desert. There's no doubt about it. But this is what it's going to look like here. If you look at Alabama today, I don't know if you heard the story or not. I'll keep it very short. So, I told you the story about how Alabama's maps, the gerrymandered story. I told you gerrymandering is a huge, huge reason why we have majority rule in this country. It is a humongous thing. It's almost like when you're sick, what do you call it when you have a symptom? It's a symptom, and it's a huge one, gerrymandering. So Alabama's maps were so gerrymandered that actually a court looked at them and said, your maps are so gerrymandered that it's kind of sick. that you even try to get away with it. So go back and redraw these maps. And by the way, what you need to do is create a second district that is majority African American. Majority African American. But, they're not racist in Alabama. Tommy Tuberville doesn't have a racist bone in his damn body. Oh, no. Oh, hell no. Because, he bossed around a whole bunch of athletes that were African American. And so the boss man, how could the boss man be a racist? How could the plantation owner be racist when he works? Yeah. Okay. So Alabama was told to make a second black district. And you know what their answer was to the court? No. Make me. Swear to God. So now it has to go back. It has to go back to the appellate court, and they'll probably do a whole. I mean, it was three justices, the 3 court judges. That usually, when you go to the appeals court, you don't get the whole court. You get 3 of the judges who sit on the appeals court, randomly chosen. Well, now they're going to have to go back, and they're going to have the whole thing relitigated by en banc. They call it en banc. And they're going to have to force Alabama, force them, just like we had to force them to desegregate, just like you have to force Mississippi, you have to force Alabama, you have to force Tennessee to deal and cope with their own disgusting ways of doing things that are completely racist. So, some people in Alabama say, well, listen, it's sad, but Alabama has to be forced to do the right thing by the courts. Well, if it's only the courts that can force you, then isn't it great for racists to come in and dismantle the courts? You see what I'm saying now? You get it now? Now do you understand it? So when Kamala says, what are we supposed to do? Be debating whether or not this stuff is racist? Are you freaking kidding me? And then she comes down here and DeSantis trashes her and says she's chirping. She's chirping. That's how he characterized her stunned, amazed, shocked that we would have to debate whether slavery, the dehumanization of human beings, had benefits. That's how he characterized her. That she came here to chirp.
I mean, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. It's totally outrageous. You guys can look on the website of the Florida Department of Education. They got a lot of scholars together to do a lot of standards and a lot of different things, but these are the most robust standards in African American history, probably anywhere in the country. Anyone who reads that will see that it's very thorough, very factual, and for them to try to demagogue it, look, that may have worked in the past. Nobody's buying their nonsense anymore. And so, she's going to come down to the state of Florida and try to chirp and try to demagogue.
Yeah, and he actually has the hand gesture to go with it. I'm sure Kamala's got a hand gesture to go with what he just said. Here's what you need to do, Ron. Just get rid of that. Just get rid of the name the benefits that slaves got from being dehumanized. Just get rid of that. You know what he said when they asked him why he doesn't get rid of that? Just like the grown-up he is, just like the leader he is. He said, I didn't do it. I swear to God. I didn't do it. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.